Hi everyone, the Mature Simmer here. Welcome back to Coast Trucking. So, looking at the jobs, we're here in Jackson, Mississippi, if you recall. It's where we ended last time. I'm going to grab, again, something that has 3 bonuses. We're going to take some more forklifts. We're going to go from Jackson to San Antonio. So we're going to get some new, we're going to get at least one new city at the end. All right, so let's see. Which way do we want to go? I think this will work because again, it's just the tractor at this point. So we should be able to just head down the tracks this way. So I've been talking about the inevitability shortly or imminently of 1.44 coming and potentially that being a problem. So just before a couple days ago, Giants had announced the open beta of 1.44, and that's both in ATS and ETS. So both of the series are basically going to be in potential jeopardy of some delays, if nothing else. Obviously, I think this one has a little bit more of a challenge because it has a lot more maps. ETS2 really has, pro mods, and obviously it, has some environment and graphic changes, like again the traffic packs and so forth. But those tend to be okay with changes. It's just I don't know what the maps will do. So I'm just letting you know that as of this time we are in open beta, and what I've typically seen in that case is like 2 weeks or so, and then it is released. So just depending on sequence of timing and so forth, this might be the last episode before it's released. There may be another one. There may be a couple more, who knows. But I'm just letting you know we're certainly closer than we were before because they've now put things out into beta. I'm not going to be testing it in beta. Certainly, I don't want to introduce any issues in the series. They always talk about with betas, there's bugs. I've done some betas in the past, and you definitely need to just be in the testing mode. And so, certainly not what I'd want to be doing with something like this, where I'm trying to continue on. And it's also frankly not worth switching and doing that separately off camera and so forth. So short thing is, when it comes out, but I'm not going to be doing anything to play with the beta. And there's nothing that's really going to impact this series except potentially the unexplored roads change that they've introduced. So, where they're going to be roads that are unmarked roads, I think, not unexplored roads, but so there's going to be, roads that'll appear, but once again, with what we're doing, I don't know how often, if any, we're ever going to hit, so. And everything else. The California rework is coming with like 4 or 5 cities. They're also removing San Rafael. So, those would certainly be impacts if we're over in that area of the map. But, who knows where we'll be headed, so. Alright, so it looks like we're going down the other side of I-55 here. Alright, again, because we're on coast to coast. Okay. We're going to pick up our loads, so yeah, it knows where it's going, but I forgot I'm like, just assuming we're on the highway, I'm like, oh, we're hauling, and we never actually picked up our load yet. So, silly me. But at least this time the directions were accurate. Yeah, this isn't helpful, as we're climbing way up here on the interchange. I think this is the one that's kind of from Albuquerque and so forth. It's one of the crazier ones. You know, given that we're down here, as they like to call them in Texas, the Mixmaster. Yeah, just lots of options in those kind of interchanges, so definitely fun, fun, fun. So, looks like we're picking this up at Staples.
Keep right, and then exit right.
Alright, going to Frontage Road. So,
Exit right.
it'll be interesting because I don't know that that's
Keep left, and then turn left.
a recruitment center over there again. I may go and
Turn left.
try to find out. It's probably a truck dealer, given the rest and the rest and the service, so probably not something we need to find. And actually, it looks like, because it might be the headquarters is what the rest and the repair is, which obviously, you know, it would be something we'd buy at some point, so we can't actually use it, even though it shows on the map. So it may therefore be a recruiting center. So it might be worth a bit of the detour there to go try to find that. So we'll see what we can tell as we get a little closer here. Because I think it's going to tell us to turn left.
Go straight on.
But I'm going to go ahead and turn, because again, I want to see what it is. With that large building, it looked like a truck headquarters, but now that I'm driving along, I'm thinking this just may be a dealer, which at this point I don't necessarily need, because I've kind of got everything discovered. And yep, that's what it is. It's a Volvo dealer. Alright, well, but we've at least gotten it cleared up, and it won't show up and tempt us again in the future. Well, looks like we just missed the train, so that's good. Yeah, I guess I could have gone on the other road and made this a little cleaner, but it's alright. The train is loud. So, it's definitely blowing that horn. Goodness. Alright, well, we would have made that light that way, so in hindsight, it would have been better if I had paid attention and turned right where it told me, but can't go back in time and change it, so. And not really that big a deal as long as we get here and we'll be able to pick things up. Make sure nobody's coming since I don't know how to turn, but it is a bit of an interesting entrance, so. Alright, I think we're good. I don't see any forklifts, but I'm sure they're here somewhere. Oh, goodness. Well, that's never fun. How did that job go away? Yeah, I don't think I want any of these. Yeah, one's really long and the other one's really long and not. Let me see. All right, we'll go back in the job market again. Well, wait a minute. Did it send me to the wrong place?
Time to hit the road.
Or did I just not listen? Alright. It makes a lot more sense that it's a caterpillar. So that guy's washing the wall. Wonder what he did wrong. That's never a fun job. Go outside, Joe, and scrub the wall. Alright, well, at least we know where the Staples is. Not that we couldn't have seen it on the map without coming to visit it. Hey, there's 3 guys sitting there doing nothing.
Turn right.
Oh boy. Oh, that's right, we got the longer lights here, so we're okay.
Keep left, and then
It was an ETS that I've gotten burned at the lights. So yeah, I literally passed this when I was coming here. I'm sure some of you were screaming after I left the dealership, like, right there.
this is where
Right.
it
There are forklifts. That looks better. Alright. Yep. There we go. Because, yeah, it's $73 a mile versus $44 a mile for the other highest paying option at Staples. Like, this is definitely the job I want. It's shorter. It's more lucrative. And after some long episodes before, shorter is what I want.
Let's do this.
Alright, exactly. Let's do this. So we'll reset our trip meter. 584 miles. Tells us about 10 hours. We have 7 hours, though, till we need to rest. So we're going to have to rest before we get there, but we have 26 hours, so we're good. So I'm going to turn right.
Turn right.
I'm glad she told me that. There's the 3 guys standing around there, too. Is that like all that happens here in San Antonio? Just got groups of 3 sitting around talking to each other forever? Thank you. You really didn't have to do that, but I'm not going to wait on the train tracks because that's just an accident waiting to happen. As a truck, you don't do that if you can't clear it, because obviously you could be stuck at the red light and have the train arrive. And then you make it on one of those videos that they show of what not to do after your truck gets obliterated. So I'm not quite sure in ATS that would happen. It may at that point just clear the, just block the train from coming if you're parked across the track. I don't know,
Straight
but
on.
I'm not going to try it. Alright. I'm just not sure which way we're going to go.
Left, and then turn left.
Alright. So yeah, then we're heading to Vicksburg, which was a big Civil War battle with Grant, kind of where he started taking over the West and getting some victories for the Union before he got called back to take over control of all the armies because of his success over here in Vicksburg. But yeah, we'll have to sleep, so once it starts getting a little bit dark, probably 8, 9 o'clock for sure is as far as we'll go. And, then we'll take a nap. Well, we'll take our rest. It's more than a nap. It's 10 hours, so. Alright, so we've got that all cleared. Should have our GPS still set. So, our cruise control still set. Obviously, I haven't been playing this in a while. I'm like unable to speak in sentences that make sense regarding the game. Oh, gotta slow down a bit though, because it's only 65. The other road I was on was 75, so gotta slow down. Angry Whopper. I don't think I ever had one of those when they were out. They're long gone by now, but I think they just have jalapenos and stuff on them, and maybe a spicy sauce too, but it should be good for me. I love spicy stuff, but that car is just mean. I had my signal on. I was wondering what was happening here, but I guess it's just to add some variety. They have us go around this thing of trees in the middle. Maybe there's like, I don't know, an Indian burial ground or something in the middle that they couldn't go over and that they had to go around. Alright, driver Thomas K. Very little bit of income. 332. We got to keep an eye on it, because if you remember, they kept coming back with no jobs because they're up there in Ontario, and for some reason that distance isn't giving them enough stuff to do. Alright, Vicksburg is discovered. We can also speed up a bit because now we're up to 70 instead of 65. So that's always nice. We've like barely gone anywhere. It's finally like 5 miles from when we left. So now we're finally doing the normal ATS movement, right? Mississippi River. So again, I do like this part of the coast-to-coast map where they do a good job of the Mighty Mo, or Mighty Mississippi. The Mighty Mo is the Missouri. So, confusing myself and you. Alright, entering Louisiana. Let's see, we're gonna have to pull over. Yep. They want to make sure we're not gonna ruin their roads by being too heavy. So, they're gonna weigh us up, make sure we're good. Even though with a flatbed like this, you'd think like they can see what we're carrying. They could probably figure out how heavy it is, but anyway, that's how it works. Alright. Your vehicle is not in perfect technical state. Oh, I guess I'm gotta do some repairs at some point, because eventually they're gonna find me. There's a train over there. I'm sure we'll eventually pass it up, because we'll be going faster than that train, I'm pretty sure, although it's pulling away from the road too, so we may not see it because it looks like it's heading off. Yeah, I don't even know where it is at this. Oh, there it is. Alright, I'm making myself dizzy. I'm probably making you really dizzy, so I'll stop. But we're going to have the same challenge we normally do in this area of the map. Is sometimes it's few and far between in the different locations. So as far as rest areas, so we'll have to be careful. But we got some rain, so turn on our wipers. It's kind of hard rain. Even the slow speed almost is not quite enough. It's good, but I think I'll leave it at that. Alright, now we're back up to 75. So, actually down here it's not too bad, so we should be good for resting when we want, as long as it stays like this. That would be great. There's definitely a recruiting center down there somewhere. Those can't be two dealers, so maybe one of these days we'll get something into Monroe and we'll be able to drive around there and get some more recruitment centers to help us out. But yeah, this will not get us enough money to get us to the point where we can buy a garage and buy a truck. So we're just gonna run this, get paid for this load, and move on.
Keep left.
But yeah, with regard to just the impact of the series with the update, is I don't know if there will be one. I'm gonna hope there isn't. And that everything continues to work. But you know, there's no guarantee of that, so just have to keep that in mind. Alright, so driver. Alright, good. Thomas found a job coming back. It would be nice if Thomas leveled up, because if he does that, at least he'll then have more load types he can get. But he's taken such short runs right now that it's just not happening. But obviously, I think we've only been on the road for less than 2 hours, and he finished a load and got another one and finished that. So he's probably taking like 100 or 200 mile jobs, and I know he's got longer distance available to him than that. So alright. So yeah, a little bit better than other parts of the map. Really? Oh, I see. Okay, I thought he was just doing the normal move over when they don't need to. So yeah, one of the tanker trucks, obviously for some place that serves some coffee. I mean, they all serve coffee, but obviously these guys like to advertise that they have the best coffee, as it says on the back of their tankers. I'm not sure who it is, so hopefully we'll catch up and we'll see it. We're making the move now, but best coffee on the interstate. Oh, Pilot. I know of Pilot. I just did not realize that was what their tanker trucks looked like. That's right. The Flying J and Pilot. One acquired the other. I don't remember exactly who acquired who, but
Keep left.
hey, is that same train? Who knows? Maybe it is. Alright, so it looks like, we discovered Shreveport. Nice. So it looks like, I know we'll be heading to Texas, but what I was starting to say is this area, they've clearly done more to flesh it out than some of the other coast-to-coast areas. And this might be part of the Midwest expansion. Might be why there's a little bit more going on here, but it didn't look like there was a lot of cities down here, so I wasn't sure. So, 126 miles to Dallas. Alright, obviously I did not turn off my wipers all the way. I think that should do it. Car with the little trailer. Is that what we got in front of us? Yeah, one of those little dinky things that, I don't know, what do you call in there? A pony? Looks like a horse trailer, but it's like a midget horse trailer. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. Alright, so it looks like we're in Texas. We had the Texas flag. I believe we had a sign. I wasn't entirely paying attention. I had looked away a little bit. Oh, those wonderful rays of sunlight. I do like that effect. It's definitely pretty neat how they do that. But yeah, this is all clearly an area that is new to us, so we're getting fresh road exploration. And yeah, that was the one thing I saw with the new unmarked roads that they're adding in 1.44 is they don't count toward map discovery as far as the percentage. So they're like, people don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, you're never going to be able to get 100% of the roads if you don't happen to find all the hidden roads. Oh, there's a long view down here too. There's a long view like up in Oregon and Washington area. But I guess there's one down here in Texas too. And now we've discovered it. So my other drivers, I'm assuming, they're working, but they must have taken longer loads. I'm thinking just like normal, once we sleep, we'll get something. Adrian couldn't find a job, so it's just going to cost us money. I hate that. $780. Wow. Trucks are expensive to operate. That's why it's important to have paying miles, and why, again, I wanted to take the highest paying miles I could. Because I need to make up for the $780 that Adrian spent on me. What are these guys doing? I need to talk to my dispatch team and tell them, you gotta get better at finding these guys' runs. Alright, so at this point, like if we see a rest stop, it's all good. It's starting to get dark. Let's see, is there something here at this exit? If there is, maybe we'll take off. Doesn't look like it's nearby, so I don't want to drive too far. So we'll keep going. 556 miles, wow. Is that real? It probably is. I mean, I know Texas is big, but man, didn't think it was that wide. But I know we're kind of in, it's kind of got those arms that stick out east and west, and I think we're coming in one of them, and this interstate then obviously continues to the other side and stays in that. So, and we have already been in Texas for a little while, so it might have been easily over 600 miles across the state then. It's insane. That's a lot. But yeah, I'm counting on my drivers to help me out, because yeah, we really need, we need 180,000 to buy the garage, and then 140 at least to buy the trucks. So we're looking at a minimum at like 320 before we can even consider things. But here we go. So we've got a place to pull over. We're about half on fuel. So again, just because we're here, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of filling up, and then we are going to rest with a giant sun ahead of us, getting ready to set. Pretty sweet. $2.17 a gallon, not bad at all. We are in oil country, so that tends to make fuel cheaper, I would think. That's usually how it works, because there isn't as much transportation, and they like to make it more affordable. Gotta love these vehicles just flying through here. This is not part of the internet. Oh, look at that. They ran into each other. Terrific. See, that's what you guys get for driving recklessly. Goodness gracious. You never know what's going to happen out on the road. You gotta pay attention. Alright, it looked like we had some spots right here. So, but if I remember correctly again, it's a little strange in where it finally gives us the trigger. Oh, I guess it did, and I'm talking and grumbling and not paying attention. Anyway, I'm going to see you in the morning. Alright, oh, I feel rested. Alright, Ahmed made 2,000 and leveled up. Good stuff. Oh, and Votki, my favorite Votki. I love Votki. Look at that, he leveled up too. I'm gonna check. Whoa. Is that Thomas? The Thomas that was doing like 300? Did he find something? Wow, that's impressive. And then Merrick. So anyway, and then it looks like Merrick leveled up. Oh no, he didn't. Nah, this is the Thomas who can't do anything. So anyway, I'm gonna go look at the drivers, because I forget now if everybody's balanced as they should be. Alright, so he is. Brandon again went over. Alright, so Merrick and Thomas. So Thomas is balanced, but Thomas just didn't do anything. So, but Merrick's the one that I've got to watch for leveling up. Alright. So, sorry about that diversion, but, you know, we're running the business. We gotta do what we can when it makes sense. So what I don't want is them to suddenly level up and apply things, you know, where I'd rather they not. Alright. Nobody seems to be flying through here like the other folks. I assume they cleared up the accident. So yeah, they're gone. Should make sense. I mean, if they were still here 10 hours later, I'm sure both sides would have been pretty upset. Not quite sure why there's grass in the road. I think the folks need to figure out what they're doing here in Texas. But in any event, we're going to get moving away. Obviously getting going before the sun comes up. We've got a little under 5 hours till we deliver, so we'll be there before lunch. It looks like we might actually have a time zone change. This is telling me Wednesday at 9:35. So that's, you know, less than 4 hours, so I think we're gonna gain an hour or something. Don't know what city this is, but yeah, that's a Kenworth dealer, because we can see it on the icon again because with the mods we've got. But there is a recruiting station, we can see it right there. So this is Dallas and Fort Worth. Alright, so we do want to do that, I think. Yep. Alright. So you can see, well, briefly, you could have seen that little yellow road when we drove through on the north side of town. We came through this before. You can see then we came south and merged here at this Mixmaster. Again, we'll use the local terminology that they refer to these things. So we are not crossing over where we went. We're now heading down towards San Antonio. So yeah, we're taking forklifts from Caterpillar to Caterpillar. So just shifting them from one center to the other. I'm sure somebody needs them down here, So it's alright. I'm getting paid. I don't care what they do with them, right? I'm just paid to haul. And that's what I'm doing. So we're past the halfway point by quite a ways, which is good. So yes, it's strange having a relatively short run compared to everything else I've been doing recently. So nice to get a quick one. So yeah, the thing that's strange with the time is it should move, like if we're going from Central to Mountain, which is likely what it would be an hour, like it would go to 7:23. Like it'll move an hour. Or wait, no. Never mind. Got it backwards. Like I said, I'm just losing my mind here and trying to explain things. So no, it would actually fall back to 5:30 a.m. So yeah, so I think we must be crossing something. It might be Eastern to Central, but this seems way too far west already, being in Texas, to not be in Central. Oh goodness, really? Let's find a new route. What? So hold on. That's where I want to go. What is it talking about? I don't know. It doesn't know what it's doing. Because, yeah, my arrival isn't any different. Like, it's all correct. I don't know what it's saying. But that's why I need to check every time. Because, yes, it causes these panic moments like that. And in this case, it wasn't that I missed a turn. There's not really any other way to get to San Antonio other than 35. So, it doesn't make any sense. GPS is getting really confused. But sadly, down here, we're kind of back to the ho-hum coast-to-coast scenery. Trees, slight slope up so that we don't see the edge of the earth falling off, and that may be what we have between here and San Antonio. But we're under 200 miles to go. 3 hours and 20 minutes of game time. 10 minutes of real time, according to what I'm seeing. So, should be there before we know it. But sun's coming up. Good stuff. Look at that. Jana 4500, and she leveled up. Because I can tell, because the text was just flying across. So she was probably one of the few drivers that hadn't gotten done while I rested. Well, that's not entirely accurate, because I've got, whatever it is, 8 or 9 drivers at this point, and I think it was maybe 4 or 5 that had delivered overnight, so. But yeah, at this point, because yeah, it's telling me almost 3 hours, but just weird that we would cross a time zone thing here. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Sometimes they have signs on here entering whatever time zone. I mean, in reality, they do, but it's not always on the maps here in ATS. But I've seen it on some roads, so I'll assume it'll be here. But I can't promise I'll see it and comment on it. But you can certainly keep an eye out for it. Is this a Buick or something? It's got that. Might be a Lincoln. It's kind of some boxy giant car. Don't know. Not entirely 100% certain, so. don't know, the median's not that large, but it's harder for me to see the traffic on the other side. I'm trying to read some of the trucks that are going by, and they seem like they're so far away, but so yeah, I can't really tell. Again, not a big deal. I'm just looking to have something to chat about. That looks like a Lexus or a Toyota. Don't know. Kia? I don't remember what that symbol is. Getting bad, getting bad. Alright, well, if we're gonna change time zones, we better do it soon. Of course, we could do it right when we get there, too. It just doesn't really matter when, but right now, it's telling us we'll be there at 8:56, but it's also telling me that's 2 hours away, so there's got to be some time zone change that we hit, and then it'll flip. But we're about halfway to where I talked about the distance before. 5 minutes of real time instead of 10, so getting close. Before we know it, we'll start seeing our delivery point show up on the mini-map, and we'll be dropping these forklifts off, probably at a very similar looking yard to where we left it. Which I will say I'm not super thrilled about, because those yards are pretty tight. So they're a bit challenging to park in. But we'll see how I do. It's part of the fun of this, right? Challenging. So we're still going to be under 6,000 miles on the truck before we get this delivery done, which is great. I'm not necessarily looking to pound a ton of miles on it right away. But obviously, if I'm not putting miles on it, I'm not making money. But yes, I'm not looking forward to 1,500 mile deliveries at this point. Challenge we're going to have here is being down in southern Texas. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to try to get us to Mexico from here, I'm sure. So I'm hoping I can find something to continue getting me somewhere up in the US again, but that doesn't require me to go, say, 1,000 miles or something. Because, yeah, if I can keep these relatively short, it's good. It'll give me, it kind of gives us a reasonable episode length, and I guess that my target is trying to keep them under an hour, and because I think trying to keep them under half an hour is going to be challenging. Then I'll be taking a bunch of really short runs, and then I don't really get to try to focus on good rewards either. Nope, goes to 3 lanes for some reason. Maybe we're getting close to San Antonio. Thinking we are.
Keep right, and then exit right.
There you go. Is that accurate? It looks like it is. Because actually San Antonio is off to the right. We don't actually travel through it here, so. Hill Brothers. I can turn that off now. And then, yeah, I think we literally... Whoa, why is he slowing down like that? Crazy man. Alright, well, I want to exit here, so I need to get past him.
Keep right,
Got a dually.
continue straight on.
That is like a total Texas site. Big pickup.
Go straight on.
I don't know if San Antonio is really considered in West Texas, but goodness. This is a tricky turn. It's like stomping on the brakes and... Alright, so there's a truck headquarters there. But the cat dealer is right here. Be turning right before we know it.
Keep right and then turn right.
Alright. Well, there is a recruiter. So I'm going to actually go a little bit around to get that. Because once again, as I'm hiring folks, if I can simply get a few more recruiting stations, that's always a benefit.
Turn right.
I'm trying. Alright, there we go. Direct hire. So hopefully it won't give me a challenge for delivery. But it might actually be better coming in from this angle. But we'll see. It may not. Well, we're going to have a red light now too. I was going to say, depending on the light, the other way I could have turned right on red, but no able to turn left on red. That is a bad thing. What does that say? Feel good. Made to feel good. Okay. I had no idea that was ever a Goodyear slogan, but I guess it must have been. I suppose I should look at where we're headed. Yep, it's the same yard. Recognize the building. So we shall see how this all lays out here. Alright, no cars there, so I'm going to swing further out so that I can straighten up as quick as possible. And let's see, where do they want this? Yeah, this is a tough one. Oh, it's actually in the garage. That may actually improve it a bit because I'll have more room to back up. What? Who put that barrel there? That's ridiculous. That's going to make it more challenging. But yeah, this is not, these yards are not big at these Caterpillars facilities. I don't know why they do it that way, but in any event, I'm going to have to play around a bit. There's a guy walking around at the bay. I hope he realizes we're delivering. Because, yeah, this is what I always run into. You're like trying to swing around, but then it's going to like hit other things. Boy, oh boy. This is tough. Alright. Let's see, because I'm basically hitting the other trailer. So that's kind of what I was worried I was going to need to do, is basically kind of almost back up and back in from the road. Let me make sure I don't have any traffic, but if I can do that, I can kind of straighten myself out. And that will be better and should give us an easier time here. Alright, so this shouldn't be too bad. But, you know, like they say, famous last words, right? So I gotta clear this before I clip the front of my truck, mar my beautiful orange paint job. I don't want to do that. That would be disappointing and sad. Alright, so that guy in there better pay attention, because I can't really, customers don't like when you yell at them, but they probably like it even less if you run them over and kill them. So I'm not quite sure why he's over there in the back of a bay that I'm backing into, but I just hope he pays attention. Alright. Actually, a pretty good job of getting that in where we need to. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. It worked out nicely. Alright. Forklifts delivered. Enjoy, guys. Alright, 574 miles. 1,891 experience. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, definitely wonderful to have leveled up. Alright, so 125,600, so we're going to need over 5,000 before we rank up again. At this point, once again, we'll continue to just add skill points to our fuel, because we can't add them anywhere else. But that'll help us save a little bit of money. But 285,000. And let's just see. I think we're okay. So, alright, Merrick's going to be delivering in an hour. Maybe he'll level up there. But yeah, Thomas at least has a 20-hour job now. So he should be getting more than $800 or whatever for something like that. So, not bad. But yeah, if I get a good delivery or a good job for the next one, we might have enough to buy a garage and get another truck and driver. And getting that new recruitment center here in San Antonio is going to help increase our options. But I will see you next time.